Hi, everyone. Today's Clientology Daily Insight is about authority books. And I just want to share if you'd like to create your own authority book after watching this video, feel free to reach out. We do have our Clientology Growth System, which is our 8-week intensive. We have ongoing start dates, so we start a new block every month. And you can learn more about taking the guided course by visiting this link or scanning the QR code below. The investment for the total program is $5,000. I should mention, if you are a veteran or a military spouse, we do have a very substantial scholarship. So if you are one of those, military spouse or a veteran, feel free to reach out. Now, today's session, I'm going to talk about authority books. I mentioned that, and this is a nod to one of the most famous Canadians, one of a short list of famous Canadians, or actually a long list. This is based on the song from Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much, and I promise you I won't sing, but I want people to understand. People say, okay, I wrote an authority book, now what? And I just want you to know that the authority book by itself is just a book. So I wanted to share a few things about, first of all, what you can expect from an authority book. Secondly, when is it a good idea to use an authority book? And then third, I'm going to share the daily habits of an authority figure. So first things first, an authority book, as I said, by itself, it's just a book. Literally, it's not worth the pages it's written on if you don't use it properly. It's not worth the cost of the paper. So number one, I see this over and over and over again, so I want to share this. The number one thing I know you can expect from an authority book is that you will feel more confident. Number two, because you're more confident, or maybe because of the book, but you will find that other people will respect you more. When I wrote my first book, it opened doors for me because people would say, well, you must be smart. You wrote the book on the subject. I was at first offended by that. It was like, at least read the book. But what I realized was the book is my calling card. So I'm gaining other people's respect. Now, obviously, you have to live up to that respect, their expectations, but people will respect you more. Number three, if you focus on building authentic relationships, you will close deals. And the reason I say it in that order is you need to build the relationship first, then you close deals. Now, a lot of people think, oh, I don't have time for that. But the reality is, it takes as long to build relationships as it does to hammer people for a deal. So why not build the relationship so that you can get more referrals, more deals down the road? If you're hammering somebody hard to close a deal, you might convince them to buy from you this time, but odds are they're going to look for somebody else if they need it again and again, or they're going to send their friends to somebody else because they're going to remember it was painful to do business with you, and you just, once you got your money from them, you vanished. So build authentic relationships, close deals. Number four, you can choose to do key strategic partnerships, or you can choose to ignore them. The choice is really yours, and I say it is a choice because I will never force anyone. But the reality is, the authority book is, the launch pad. You and your business are the rocket ship. The strategic partners are the rocket fuel. If we're not putting fuel in the ship, we may as well just go back to doing something else. So key strategic partners are that essential to the equation. And again, I mentioned at the beginning, number five, authority books are just a tool. You must do the work. So the authority book is the leverage. Think of it as, if you're trying to dig a hole, it is the power tools. It's the backhoe, the bobcat, whatever you're using. But you still have to use it. So you can leverage, you can do a lot more with it, but you still must do the work. Or your team, your business, somebody must do the work. So if you get an authority book, you write it, you print it, you order 50 copies, you're literally in the hole. You're out money until you start doing something with it. So we'll talk about that in the daily habits. But if you wield the tool properly, it will help you move forward. So now I wrote this slide. This is mirror image, basically. On the left, we've got an authority book is for you if, and on the right, we've got authority book is not for you. Sorry, typo on the screen. Just typos are free. They're my gift to you that allow you to allow you to feel superior. This is test and measure. You want to get things out and running, and sometimes you make weird mistakes. But so the left is the authority book is for you if, on the right, authority book is not for you. So an authority book is for you if your goal is to become a best-selling author. Okay, there we go. This is a beautiful thing about Zoom, about going live. You can edit very quickly. All right. Okay, so an authority book is for you if, number one, your goal is to become a best earning author. And what I mean by that is the authority books help you close more deals with your business while building authentic relationships. So you're going to earn, our goal is, each individual copy of the book you send out to the world should be earning you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Really, truly, the minimum return you're looking for is the book should get you a client who's going to pay you $100. Now, honestly, that seems like a really low number because that's just getting somebody in the door. But over the life of that customer, it should be thousands and thousands. So your minimum goal should be $100 earned for every book you give out. Again, it's a great return on investment. It's just the higher the number, if you're a professional who charges $2,000 for an engagement, that's a great return on investment. So how many of those engagements can you get? And that should be something you can measure and track, is that the book is in fact generating income for you. If you don't want to generate income, then maybe an authority book isn't the best fit for you. Number two, your goal is to add value to your community. You want to give. So the authority book adds value whether somebody works with you or not. You're not giving away your secret ingredient. You're just sharing, here's how we work with people. So you're giving them value and helping them decide, and this is the value piece. They want to decide if, number one, you're the person they want to work with. If not, maybe they're going to work with somebody else, but you're helping them get clear on how you could help them if they're fit. Now, number three, this one I think is really important. You have to love helping others, because if you write the authority book strictly with the intention of, I'm going to get a client from this, you're probably not going to see the same results. You're still going to have to do the hard sales. You're still going to have to push. But if you write it from a place of, I'm writing this book to help others, it will have a huge impact. Now, number four, you believe in building authentic relationships. That is absolutely critical because, again, key strategic partners are the rocket fuel that propels this forward. If you're not building authentic relationships, people will recognize that. You can't fake authenticity. You can't fake sincerity. So you must believe in building authentic relationships. And number five, you are willing to earn referrals. And what I mean by that is a lot of businesses just expect referrals, or they hope for referrals, or they're okay if they get them, they're okay if they don't get them. You must be willing to actively earn referrals. More on that throughout, but the whole point of Clientology is to turn you into a business that is highly referable. You're adding value and you're getting value in return. Now, on the right, we have an authority book is not for you. I'm going to go through these quickly because I think they're self-evident. Most people who write books do it for themselves, do it for their ego. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just they want to become famous or they want to be respected in their field. If you're solely about becoming a best-selling author, that is not the focus of what we do with authority books. For me, a successful authority book, if we do a 25 book run and we get 25 clients from it, that is a wildly successful book. To become a bestseller, you need thousands and thousands, and there's a lot of work into selling the books. A little secret, selling books doesn't make the author a lot of money. It usually makes the publisher and the bookstores and the platforms money. So if your goal is to become a best-selling author, we're not for you. We're not going to help you write an authority book because it just doesn't make sense to us. Number two, I meet a lot of people who just want to raise their prices. They want to charge more without adding any extra value. You're taking, that's not a fit for the authority book. Number three, there are people who are just in it for themselves. They just really like their, I know people who can't pass a mirror without smiling and saying, "You're amazing." If that's you, it will shine through as insincere and it won't be genuine. Your authority book will not work, or it won't likely work. I can't guarantee it'll work. Number four, if you're just in it for the next deal, I'm looking to close the next deal, this is probably not for you because you're not looking to build those relationships. And number five, if you use words like funnel, paid traffic, cost per click, this is probably not for you because we're not looking for a massive funnel where we send out email blasts. This is not a bulk play. This is a quality play over quantity. So we're looking for quality relationships. We're looking for long-term sustainability. In my opinion, in my experience, most funnels, the minute your ad spend stops, your funnel stops. We don't want that. We want a steady stream of dream clients. Now, the last thing I want to cover is daily habits. And you've heard me rant about habits before. I promise you'll hear me rant about them again in a really positive way because daily habits literally guarantee your success. If you have the right habits and you follow them, you will succeed. It's inevitable because you're chipping away at that thing that you need to do, the mountain you need to climb. You're taking that first step. The daily habits accumulate to success. And again, I'll do an entire session on daily habits or more sessions on daily habits. But I just want to give you some examples of what daily habits might look like for an authority figure. So if the previous slides resonated with you and you think, "I need to write an authority book," you can go ahead and write a book on your own. I highly encourage you give it a shot. It's an experience I think most people should have. Not in a must way, but it changes you in ways I can't describe. So if you decide you're going to write a book and become an authority figure in your community, here are 5 daily habits I would suggest to help you succeed. And I like the power of 5 because it gives you backups. It's easy to do, but it's easy to not do. So it feels like a win when you do it. But it's also big enough to move you forward. Now, if you're looking for really aggressive growth, you would obviously scale these numbers up. If you're looking for less growth, but you still want to grow, you'd scale these numbers down. So 5, I find in my experience, 5 will get you a good result. More will get you a better result. Less will get you a poorer result. So if you want a good result, start with 5. My advice, start with 5, test and tweak, follow the scientific method. If you're not getting the results you want, do more. Or first of all, I guess, make sure you're doing the right things, because if you're doing the right things, you will get the right results over time. So number 1, share the physical book with 5 people. Now that might be key strategic partners, it might be dream clients, it might be perfect prospects. Whatever that looks like, share it with 5 people. This is about building relationships. There are no shortcuts. Don't send them a link to Audible. Don't send them a link to download your PDF of your book. We're talking about a physical book. There's many reasons for it. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. We want this to feel like a gift, and it's intentionally a gift because we're building relationships. Number two, speak to 5 people about being a guest on their podcast. Now, this doesn't have to be you. This could be an admin assistant, a virtual assistant. Speak to 5 people. And we'll note we can control the activity of reaching out to 5 people. We can't control the activity of whether or not they book us. So if we spoke to 5 people a day about being on their podcast, it will get us the exposure we need. And again, you want to pick podcasts that are relevant to you, the audience you're looking for. You can add value to the podcast host and their show guests, or sorry, their show audience. Number three, you want to invite others to be a guest on your podcast. Same thing, you're looking for guests that'll add value to you, add value to your audience, and help spread the word. So if you're a local accountant who only serves businesses in the northern end of Atlanta, it would be pointless to have a guest on who only serves businesses in the southern part of Atlanta. So be really clear, actively curate who you have or want as a guest on your show. And again, this is something you could delegate to someone else, but have someone on your team having 5 conversations, a minimum a day, about getting guests on your show. Now, number 4 might sound a little similar, but speak to 5 people about local speaking events. And I say speak to 5 people. This doesn't have to be you. You can delegate it. But if you're actively booking speaking events, you're able to share your physical book and you're able to get perfect prospects. And then we don't have a business until we have revenue. So we need to be booking 5 strategy sessions. And maybe that would be about the conversation to have strategy sessions, because I can't control if somebody books or not. But we need to be inviting at least 5 people a day to book strategy sessions. And we might not book them all for today. They might be spread out over the next month. But the more strategy sessions we have, the more sales conversations we have, if we can serve the people, our business will start to bring on revenue, our business will grow. Now, the secret of the strategy session is you're focused on how to add value to the person on the other end. And if you actively add value for them on the strategy session, they will choose to work with you, and they'll be much happier to pay a higher fee. And they'll probably tell you some amazing things about what you can do to add value to them. So the strategy sessions, in my opinion, are win-win no matter what the outcome is. If we choose to work together, we both win. If we choose to not work together, you should leave with some clarity, because you know what your pain is, why it's there, how you can solve it. I should leave with some more clarity about the messaging I can do or the things I can improve in my business, so that I'm not having a strategy session with somebody who isn't a fit. So I believe the strategy sessions should always be win-win. And that's it. So special nod to Shania Twain, you don't impress me, or that don't impress me much. And thank you for listening as always.